Carrie Anderson, a property developer and part-time model from Lytham St Anne's. The dish she's making today is Nan Jessie's Fleetwood fish cakes. Carrie was just 5 years old when she first ate the fish cakes and at first wasn't their greatest fan. But as time's gone by, she now loves them, particularly because of the memories that they evoke of Dad Bill and Grandfather William.
This is how I make my Nana Jessie's Fleetwood fish cakes. This dish reminds me of my childhood. A lot of my relatives that still live in Fleetwood and still make the dish. It seems to be a staple dish of a lot of the fishing industry and fishing families. So we have to boil these until you can stick a knife in them, but not falling apart. I prefer to use the cod and the haddock. We're going to put our fish on the top of the potatoes. We are going to steam it. Keep our eye on it. The smell of that is wafting me back 20 years plus. Fish doesn't take very long to cook, 3 or 4 minutes. And all the flavour from the fish is draining down into the potatoes, so we don't need any fish stock because we've got all the flavour there in the pan. What we are now going to do is put our crab in. Now, I've been really lazy. I bought it in a packet. But I can actually remember my mum and my nan sat with a crocheting hook getting the crab meat out of the crab. I'm going to mash this with the fork. We've got to add our egg. And we're now going to pour this on. Mix this in. We're going to add the flour. I prefer to use corn flour because it has less tendency to form lumps. Voila. Our next stage is to actually make the fish cakes. So they're roughly about 1/2 inch thick. We're going to put some breadcrumbs on them. This just eases with the frying and makes them nice and crispy. We'll let them cook for a couple of minutes and then we will very carefully turn them over. My favourite thing about these fish cakes is that it takes me back to my childhood and my family. In fact, every time I see a haddock, it reminds me of my nan. These are ready to serve up, so it's time to get our plate ready.
That's Carrie's Nan Jessie's Fleetwood fish cakes, a delicious dish with a great family story.